So today's shloka is Bhagavad Gita 2.63. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. So please recite after me. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. Word for word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Krodhat, from anger, bhavati, takes place, sammoha, perfect illusion, sammohat, from illusion, smriti, of memory, vibhramaha, bewilderment, smriti bhramshat, after bewilderment of memory, buddhi nashaha, loss of intelligence, buddhi nashat, and from loss of intelligence, pranashyati, one falls down. Translation: from anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool.
into the material pole.
So if we recall the shloka from yesterday, where the Lord is talking about how one gets trapped. First, the object, the senses contemplate on objects, they become attached. From attachment arises lust. From lust arises greed. If lust is not satisfied, it leads to anger. So now Krishna is continuing with explaining the actual process, how you end up losing your intelligence. In the sense, how do you end up becoming completely under the control of Maya Devi? From anger, delusion arises. Delusion means a state of confusion. You suddenly don't remember what is right and wrong because you're so obsessed with what you didn't get, right? It causes you to lose your discriminating powers. And this discriminating power loss is what Krishna is calling, from this delusion, bewilderment of memory. And when memory is bewildered, your intelligence is lost. And what happens when you lose your intelligence? You fall down again. Yes, the word Shri Krishna uses is pranashyati. I suppose pranashyati could also be interpreted as being destroyed. But here, falls down means, and Prabhupada is adding the words into the material pool. What Prabhupada means here is that when you lose control of your senses, mind, and intelligence, which is actually what is happening when you get attracted to sense objects, you have lost control of your senses, your mind, and your intelligence. So the ego gets caught up in I and mine. The ego begins to think, I am the controller. So when the ego thinks that I am the controller, then you're completely caught up in Maya. Krishna only gives us a little bit of freedom. He does not give us complete freedom. As a matter of fact, the amount of freedom that we get is directly correlated to how strong our relationship is with him. So imagine, Mother Yashoda was able to bind Krishna because of her pure love for him. That's how much freedom Krishna gives for his pure devotees. But depending on the level of surrender, Krishna gives you that level of freedom. So which means in your current life, you're planting the seeds for how much freedom you will get in your next life. And the beauty about this whole thing is that when Krishna gives his pure devotees more freedom, they are even more cautious of how they choose to use that freedom. The more freedom Krishna gives his pure devotees, the more they are very strict with their sadhana and what they do, how they think, etc. So that's the beauty of it. When you're given most freedom, you don't use it, or you don't misuse it, rather. So this is how one's intelligence can get lost. When you completely come under the control of Maya Devi, which means you have completely lost sense of what is right and wrong. You think you can control outcomes. So when we believe that we can control outcomes, we experience all of this. This anger, this delusion, this fear, this bewilderment of memory, and then loss of intelligence. So this is the essence of today's shloka. of how one can be trapped if we are not cautious.